just started at Michigan State a week ago. We're dairy farmers over in Litchfield. We'd like to welcome you to Preston Farms to their, I'm not sure what annual it is, but this is 7th or 8th annual ice cream social. How many here have been from a dairy farm or have been on a dairy farm any time in their life? I was informed by an official Preston, this is their 10th annual ice cream social. So welcome aboard. All right, so the fact that we got some people with some knowledge, that'll change the talk a little bit. As soon as we get a little international fired up, we're going to be ready to go. Yep. All right. You've been past the parlor. You can see they've started to milk already. They milk 3 times a day here. They're milking a little over 800 cows. The majority of them are what we call a Holstein cow. Those will be the black and white ones. Occasionally you'll see a little brown one, might be a Jersey thrown in there. And there are some what we call red and white Holsteins. And I think that pretty much covers their breeds. Adam Preston's. Crosses, right. Adam Preston, one of the sons, is quite involved in breeding purebred bulls that go into a co-op that we all belong to for semen for AIN cows. And they put several cows into the what we call the bull stud already, which is really quite a feat for this farm. First barn we're coming up onto here, they got 2 barns. Both of them are fan cooled. I want you to feel what the temperature is out here, and I want you to feel what the temperature is in that barn as soon as we drive inside. They got sprinklers for their cows, they've got fans for their cows. They're all bedded on sand. When you go to the beach, you know how soft sand is. You gotta realize a cow weighs 15 to 1,800 pounds, and so for her to get up and down, sand is really the gold standard. It's easy on her knees, it's easy on her hocks, and they really like just kind of laying there in that cool sand, just chewing their cud, making milk. Tammy? Nothing ahead?
Not until we get in the barn.
The goal here at the Preston Farms is to produce the highest quality milk for you as a consumer and to take the utmost care of their cows. You've heard the saying, if mama's happy, everybody's happy. Well, if those mama cows are happy, then things are going good at the farm. So they're going to do the utmost to feed them properly, make sure they've got plenty of fresh water. They have a vet come once a week. They do preg checks. We use ultrasounds. For the younger ladies on here, you're probably ultrasounded, getting ready for a baby. Well, we do that for our cows to see if they're bred. And then we can check and see if they're going to have a little bull calf or a heifer calf. So like I said, see the difference already getting here in this barn? How much cooler it gets?
Is that you?
There, you see the sprinklers? Those sprinklers will come on, they cycle around, and all that's doing is just kind of wetting that cow down, and then the fan's blowing across that cow and that's pulling that cow off. In their ears, you're going to see a little itty bitty red tag. Orange, or it's an orange tag, sorry, I'm colorblind. That is basically a Fitbit for a cow. You can go on to a computer or your cell phone, after you get your cell phone out, it's going to tell you how much that cow's walking around, if she's eating, if she's laying down, if she's chewing her cud. It tells us if she's cycling to where she has to be bred. It tells us if she's sick. And when you've got 800 cows, we used to come out here and we walk through these cows, look at every cow individually. As the herds have gotten bigger, we've gone to this system right here, and it's checking all those cows 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And that's how we track these cows. These cows over here, well, not yet. On the other side of this gate, these are milk cows. You see how full their udders are? They're getting ready to be milked. These cows over here are what we call dry cows. Before a cow has a calf, she gets a 2-month vacation. We dry her off, we don't milk her, and basically she's just kind of recuperating from all that milk. Put a little fat back on her back. There's a Jersey cow right there. See that little brown cow with the big eyes? That's a little Jersey cow. The rest of them are all Holstein. So these guys are kind of on vacation. Just hanging out, not getting milk. These cows over here, look, there's a red and white Holstein right there. The alleyways get scraped 3 times a day. Every time they take the cows out, they scrape the alleyways. It goes right down into those holes right there, flushed with water. We're gonna show it down here. The water around here gets used about 4 or 5 times. First time it's used to cool the milk, and then it goes to water the cows. Some of it goes into the flush tanks. That's what those big barrels are right there. They flush that barn out. It comes around here. They're going to separate the sand out. They're going to recycle the sand. The water will go out into the lagoon, and then they use the water to irrigate their crops. So that water's used 4 or 5 times before it hits the ground, gets absorbed back into the ground, and gets recycled back into the groundwater. They farm about 1,200 acres. They grow basically 2 crops, corn and alfalfa. And even then they have to buy a fair amount of feed for the cows. They don't have enough acres to feed 800 cows.
Do they use any dry hay?
They do a little bit, but they buy all their dry hay. The majority of their hay when we come around is chopped, because in Michigan with the humidity, it's tough to make good dry hay. So you buy that dry hay out of the Kansas, you know, Idaho, somewhere like that. Yes, they do all their own. Some farmers custom farm that out. Okay, we're seeing they have a sand return lane. They separate the sand out. You see the water's coming down, and as that water runs around, the sand settles out, and then that's what all these piles are here. Every other day or so, they go in there, they scoop it up, sit up here, depending upon the weather. It dries in 2 or 3 days, or it might take a month in the wintertime. And then they recycle that sand, and recycle that sand, and recycle that sand. I mean, you hear a lot about sustainability and recycling. Dairy farmers are the ultimate recyclers.
Because of our cows.
Because of our cows. We take this corn plant that you can't eat, we feed that to our cows. She produces milk that goes into ice cream, goes into cheese, goes into butter, goes into yogurt, goes into all those products that you as a human like to eat, and we just recycle. So water goes down through there, sand comes out, goes down this lane. They've got what we call a 3-stage lagoon. The solids settle out in the first 2 lagoons. They look like little wheat fields right now because they're full of solids. And then the last one over here is where the water is, and then they'll irrigate their crops out of that. Once again, recycling that water, using that water as many times as we can. When they go to take the manure to the field, this big tank over here is how they get it to the field. And we test the soil, we test the manure. We only put on enough manure as what the crop needs for the coming year. This is what we call a big agi pump. You put that in there, stirs things up so you can get all the solids out. This is their big chopper up here. This is how they harvest their hay. This is how they harvest their corn. This is a 10-row chopper. They chop it in these trucks over here, come up, dump it. And then there's a tractor up here. We'll see that they push it up on top. Questions right now? Because we're just kind of chugging along.
Well, that lagoon would have nutrients in it.
Yes, it does. Right. And they'll sample that, and they'll find out how much nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium are the 3 main nutrients in that. And they're going to test that, and then they know they're going to grow corn, and they want to grow 200 bushel corn. And the soil sample will say, put on 7,000 gallons of manure. Around here, the limiting factor is phosphorus. So you can put on enough phosphorus for the plant, enough potassium. You'll be short nitrogen, so you either use urea, 28, or anhydrous, something like that. A little bit, okay. Yep. This is corn silage from last year. This is what was on the parking lot, right? And that's packed down. That's what they call their packing tractor, and you're just driving back and forth. You've got approximately, they do an excellent job of packing their corn silage here. They're at 60 to 63 pounds of corn silage in a square foot. Okay? I mean, that's a lot. I mean, and then this pile over here is their haylage pile. And they also feed what we call snaplage. You take the whole ear and grind it up. And this is last year's corn silage. When they start chopping, they'll just come up here and just start packing against it. It's covered with plastic. You can see there's very little mold at the top. That's what we call dry matter loss, and you want to limit that as much as possible. So that's why you see all the tires. Once again, recycled. Those are semi-tires with the sidewalls punched out. So we reuse the tire, we reuse the water, we use the manure for our crops. Like I said, farmers are the ultimate recyclers. This is their haylage right here. Usually we get 4 cuttings of hay, sometimes 5. This is some byproduct. This is corn gluten. That's what's left over after they make high fructose corn syrup that's in everybody's pop and food. And this is the byproduct that comes up.
Do they use distiller stuff from the ethanol plant?
I don't know if they use distillers or not. A lot of guys do from the alcohol plant. When you came down by, you saw 2 or 3 commodities up there next to the parlor, and there was a protein mix in there. This is their mixer wagon. You put all the ingredients in there, you mix them all up, you lay it out for the cows, and the object is every cow that walks up there is getting the exact same mouthful. These are their little heifer barn down here. When they leave the hut, they stay here for about 60 days. When they leave here, they get weaned, they go over there. There's about 120 calves down there right now. The ultimate goal is to keep the cow, as healthy and as happy as possible. Because that makes for a healthy calf, means it's going to grow up, make a good cow. A healthy, happy cow gives lots of milk, and that helps our bottom line. Be it the way we handle them, the way we milk them, the way we feed them. Like I said, the veterinary service that's here, we take ultimate care of these cows and these calves. Because if they're not doing well, we as a dairy farmer is not going to do well. Yep, if you look at them, every one of these calves has got an ear tag in it, and that ear tag, they can look that up on their computer, their smartphone, and they'll tell them who that calf's mama was, who that calf's daddy was, who their grandparents were, so they can trace that back. And as we're breeding these calves, like I said, they use artificial insemination and everything. You look at that calf, they looked at that calf's mother and said, okay, she needs to have this corrected. She needs to be better on her feet and legs. She needs more dairy structure, whatever. And then they pick a bull out to improve that calf. So it's selective mating. Once again, the better the calf is, the better we are down the road. Any questions? This is the milk tank. This is how the milk leaves the farm every day. They would fill that tank every day. That's how much milk leaves this farm. Nope, just insulated. We have to have our milk down to 40 degrees before it goes on one of those tankers. Their milk goes over to Constantine. They belong to a co-op called Michigan Milk Producers. The milk from this particular farm goes to Constantine. Constantine typically makes butter and powder. No, because where this farm goes, they don't bottle milk. They just make butter and powder. There are places that our co-op sells milk to that bottles milk. But this milk, the milk you're drinking today and the ice cream you're drinking today did not come from where this dairy sells their milk, right?
And the milk always goes to the same place.
Typically, unless the co-op needs their milk somewhere else. Our co-op, they belong to the same co-op that we belong to. And our co-op has multiple processing plants. So one of our processing plants is in Oben-Elsie. We have a bottler. If you go to Kroger and you buy a gallon of milk at Kroger, you're buying milk from a Michigan milk producer. So if Kroger needed a lot of milk, they may call up the hauler, which is Maxwell's Milk Hauling, and say, hey, instead of going to Constantine today, let's take it up to Kroger. And it might end up at Kroger, or it might end up at Oben. Right, that's Prairie Farms. Yep, Prairie Farms. Any questions? We appreciate you coming. If you have any questions, anybody you see wandering around in a blue shirt, ask them, and if they don't know the answer, they'll point you to somebody who does, okay?
Yeah, Jasmine, you're getting everything. And this one. That one.
Is anybody down there?
kissing it and then throwing it.
Come on, bud. Paddle.